Everybody, this is Galit. She is an amazing design curator and thinker, and she is instrumental in putting the design industry from Israel on the global map. So we're very excited to be hearing from her today. And I'm especially inspired by the topic that you've chosen. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Lee, and thank you, Philip, for inviting us to join World Hope Forum, this movement of hope that we all share. Thank you, Karen, Noah, and Gretel for taking care of us and making this happen. It's not an easy thing to do. And thank you, Oded, for making this wonderful introduction of where we are, where we live, and probably talking about some of the conflicts we share. So this slide would start my talk this morning. And this is where I was. And this is where I was in my garden when I first heard Philip and Lee talking from Africa. I remember this moment. The headphones was in my ears. I was concentrated. My arms, or my hands actually, were in the bush, working the garden. And I was reimagining this present and my future again. Without any thought about what's beautiful, what's going to happen, what's right and what's relevant, I just let the garden lead me back into working. But it wasn't a new idea. We've met some wonderful times before. We thought together about slowing down, about design, admiring together the little things, whether it's in the wonderful exhibitions you've both curated at the Design Museum in Holon, and whether it's around the world, meeting in design events. Stopping for a moment, holding hands, letting our heart fill with hope. We all felt this time of slowing down as a significant tool, as something we learned as humanity, as people, as one-on-one designers. This slowing down allowed us to look again around us and to see what the people who really surround us need from us. Long before I knew I'm going to become a curator or a design curator, I found myself dreaming about objects that people left here behind, that people left when they fled, when people left to be found. Whether they chose to or not, we meet those objects now across time. Our hand fits exactly, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to do that so you can see. Our hands fits exactly. And it seems they just passed away. Maybe exactly where I'm standing now. So being a curator, it comes from Latin. It means to care. It means to take care. So I take care for, I attend to, I see to, and I worry about. My path is a curatorial path. It's a path of endless meeting with people, with curators, with creators, with storytellers, with researchers, with scholars, with people who ask good questions, people who just wander around in museums dreaming about the endless possibilities. Love, generosity, reimagining your life, curatorial craft, from moving from your mind to your heart and through your hands. It doesn't always start with a great idea, but it always starts with a sensibility to people, their dreams and their options, their needs and opportunities. Every meeting with people, communities starts with stepping out from the museum, from your studio, going out to find this one particular moment when your heart stops beating so fast and starts beating together. And this wonderful rhythm of two hearts beating together doesn't allow us to give up anymore. So this is what I work with. It's curiosity and wonder, investigation, experimenting, experiments, and wondering and mindware, senseware, which I'll talk in a minute, flow and pleasure. Pleasure. If we won't forget pleasure, I think we have hope. So from one to many, from choice to one, from one to a designer, from designer to a healer, and from a healer to a new story. So creation, as a definition, creation, the act of creating. And I think when we all talk about creation, we have different definitions of creation, but we understand this wonderful moment of something emerging from nothing. Creation, the act of making, investigating, or producing. And I think this moment of creation starts, as Kenya Hara usually say, from the first man or first woman who took a stone from the ground and measured its size, its weight, its texture, its color probably. Maybe they tasted it, maybe they smelled it, and then they thought, what can I do with it more? And this is, for me, the beginning of design, and maybe the beginning of our culture of meeting objects and leaving our signs around. So creation starts very early in our time. And healing, and I'm going to do it in Hebrew first, bria, יצירת דבר יש מאין, יצירת דבר חדש, creating something new. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ. But הבראה, healing, comes from the same root in Hebrew. בריאה and הבראה, making something well, healing it, correcting it, solving the problems. So, life, as Oded perfectly described in this very complicated, dense, warm, and chaotic probably place, is something that we really need to take into consideration. So I invite you to this path of creation and creators as healers. Creation of culture of solidarity would be the first stepping stone. A group of wonderful ladies who found themselves at the beginning of COVID, understanding that a lot of people have a lack of food, of water, of needs, coming together, joining hearts and hands, finding everything they can to help other people. So Culture of Solidarity is our first story. It's an initiative by Noah Beck, Danielle Cantor, and La Tonic, and a lot of other wonderful and amazing ladies. When restaurants and offices closed, they went together and approached them to ask for leftovers. And in 3 days, they packed 400 baskets of food to give away. Designers, thinkers, makers, movers. Culture of Solidarity met Shenkar, and the industrial design department, led by Ravit Letzer, created those wonderful bowls, and it was called the Bowls of Solidarity. So creating bowls to be sold for the organization of the United Children of Israel, made 20,000 shekels for this organization in one afternoon of selling bowls and Philippine food, together designers and thinkers as healers. Being in this wonderful event proved to me that sometimes all we need to do is let go of our past, let go of our future, and just stay in the present, knowing what we can do and what we can change. Two curators graduating from Shenkar found their way to curate an exhibition with migrant workers. They found 15 of them, found their community, found their rhythm, found their life, found their way of breathing. So meeting the people, allowing them to work, creating the safe environment to make new objects, and then presenting them in an exhibition. The path they worked with was together with Cucinetta, which we're going to hear later on today. Didi Maimon Kahan is going to talk about it. So together with Cucinetta, they found the new materials, they found the new forms, and they found a way to teach people to heal themselves, to tell their stories, and to present it. Cucinetta is a wonderful organization, and I'm sure that later on you'll hear more about it. But I just wanted to share this one little story I heard from them. You need to slow down, you need to open your heart, you need to open your mind, and you need to look close, really close around you. Let go of your pre-ideas, trust your way, and trust yourself. Meeting the lady of Cucinetta is always colorful, is always amazing, and it always shows us that whatever we think of other people is probably wrong, or probably a misbelief, or it's an opportunity to find a smile, to find a heart. Michal Chalabin, Dafi Hagai, Chana Sahar, Naama Kleiman, Ela Barak, Verotem Lebel would be our next group of ladies. When a young gallery of art called 3x3, invited all of them to meet the Cucinetta ladies, photograph them in their homes, and show it in the gallery. And this gallery is not an ordinary one. It was opened in the time of COVID, and it is a street gallery. When all the museums were closed, all galleries were closed, this was the only opportunity to show art. So 3x3, initiated by Lihi Gerstner and Michal Shapira, found an opportunity to talk about art, but to talk about us and to talk about our challenges.
עוד מישהי איתנו בצחק. אישה. ועוד אישה. ועוד אישה. وحدة. كمان وحدة. كمان مرة. كمان. רק אנחנו. רק אנחנו יכולות להפסיק את הטבח הזה. בס احنا نقدر نوقف هذا الذبح. ונער את האדישות. להרוג את התופעה. אלימות נגד נשים. הורגת אותנו. אבל לא בשתיקה. לא בשתיקה. לא משתיקה אותנו. العنف ضد النساء مقتولنا. بس ما بسكت. אישה ועוד אישה ועוד אישה ועוד אישה בקפי תורתנו להעז אותנו.
Looking after women, looking after their fragility, looking after their sensitivity, drove two women, two hearts, four eyes, looking closely, not letting us look away. And this is their project around the Colosseum, which is now the social space. And it was a nightclub using women. Next project would be, okay, sorry. Yes. Next project talks about beautiful dolls. The women and the daughters of the village Khan el-Ahmar are making those dolls with three designers, Galit Gaon, Anat Sarel, and Yael Moav, the friends of the Jalaluddin. Going there, sitting together, working closely to the ground, allowing other designers to work together. Next story of threads and textile comes from kites, comes from reusing kites and thinking about women, helping them to move away from their everyday terrible situation. I have troubles. Oh, no, it's working. Perfect.
Sometimes we think that our purpose in life is so much further than it actually is. It's right in front of our feet. It's what we're passionate about. When I heard about human trafficking, it triggered something in my heart. I thought, why people bought and sold as slaves, and that still exists today, and I don't know anything about it? The more I talked about it, the more people joined my idea and said, you're right. Wow, why isn't anyone doing anything? So this is a social business. It's a safe work environment for men and women who were exploited in the sex industry, former prostitutes, but also victims of human trafficking. And it is job rehabilitation for them. It is reintegration to the normal workforce. People are catching on with the whole idea of, I'm going to give my time instead of trashing it. And again, we work with people who, instead of trashing them, instead of them feeling so devalued of where they came from, they're now proud of what they do. The money they earn is not something they just want to throw away because they're not proud of how they earned it, but they're so proud of something that appears in front of their eyes. They can watch how their creativity flows into the product. The coolest thing is that this could have been on the Lake of Galilee, or this was somewhere in a wave on the Mediterranean.
So sometimes all you need to do is connect to things that you know, connect to people that you know, connect to ideas, And as designers, this is what we do every day. Connecting things together is our next project, a collaboration between 3 craft levels. One is the art of cooking, ceramics, and typography. Connecting Hebrew and Arabic together is a connection between Liron Lavi and Ronit Yam. Connecting Hebrew and Arabic together, as Oded beautifully explained before, is not an easy task to do, and it's not an obvious task to do, but connecting it together into a new typeface maybe will allow us to talk together, have the same language, the same word, the same symbol on one t-shirt, on one object, on one teacup that we can use, not having the Hebrew one, the Arabic one, or the Christian one, or all the other ones, but all of them connected together. Here you can see beautiful paper just explaining how they have connected those 2 typefaces together into Arav Rit. And the last one is where we're standing, Design Terminal in Bat Yam. Design Terminal is a beautiful initiative. It connects designer with the people in need to work. It connects ideas, and it's a greenhouse for designers. It's a greenhouse for ideas. It's a greenhouse for hope. And when you think about hope and design, you need to meet materials and hands. You need to meet demand and opportunities. You need to meet your heart. You need to meet a wire. You need to meet a tool. And you need to meet a lot of young, passionate people that are willing to make a change. So these thoughts about greenhouse brought me back to my garden, brought me back to my thoughts and about how I work as a designer, as a creator, as a healer, from A to Z. So it starts with love, ahava, because love for everyone. You need to love the difficult, the complicated, the safe, the disabled, the disturbed, the complex one. You need to love them all. And you need to let go of this fear of making a mistake, the fear of being left alone. And the last one, from A to Z, mi Aleph ad Taf, would be tamid, always, because being a curator is forever. It's a craftsmanship that talks about people, and it works from my heart to my hands, to this space, and to you. So being a curator is forever, and curatorial craft is what we do to heal our surrounding, our world, our nation, ourselves, and our communities. Thank you.